Humongous Jake here to do a video focusing on some new SledgeFire shells that I've had my hands on now for about 3 weeks, I do believe. I put an order in to Tripp Miller on his Etsy shop, which is RadioactivesDesigns. I will put a link to that in the description of this video and the couple that are coming up, because I actually got some other parts for other blasters, including an Ultra Dart cylinder for hammer shot, which I'm going to throw into both a stock hammer shot and a modified one. I got a couple set aside just for that. And then I got some new prototype Cyclone Shock cylinders that we're going to check out in a whole separate video. This video is going to focus specifically on my opinions on his SledgeFire shells, because of course if you know the Nerf internet community, that Tripp is pretty active in a lot of the groups, and he is a huge SledgeFire fan. Well, he has his own designs here for a few different shells that I picked up for my own testing. In this is, as you can see, there's brass sticking out. He has a shell which basically, in all essence, it's a 3D printed spacer or insert to hold brass, because this is made to hold 17 30-seconds brass, and that's all it does. I have that in the SledgeFire, and spoiler alert, that's absolutely my favorite one of all the shells. I went ahead and installed that in to this SledgeFire with 8 inches of 17 30-seconds brass, and I do have an E-kind Elite or E-kind waffle tip sitting in there as protection. That's what I do with exposed brass on my blasters a lot of times, is I'll leave a dart in the tip as cushion. And this is a modified SledgeFire. It's running a 13 kilogram NF Strike SledgeFire spring, locks removed, and Tripp also sells the gaskets. So for this build, I went ahead and did this SledgeFire just for this, and I installed his gasket on the front of this brake barrel. And of course you do have to pull out most of the internals here of the barrel, but I did retain the spring-loaded shell release, as you can see there. Actually, I quite like that feature, so I can interchange these. However, I will probably run this pretty much like this. Now, what are my opinions of his shell? Well, it does everything that it's supposed to, fires very nicely, and okay, quick tip, I am also a huge SledgeFire fan. I have not the most big collection of them, but I do have 6 of these blasters, and I do absolutely love these in all forms. But I leave mine slightly cracked if I've modified it and put the gasket there. Just a tip for you if you're new to SledgeFires and working with them. Now, I will comment on these just as a quick overview and video. This is a rival firing shell. Now, with some work put into it, this thing could become usable. Well, I never could get it to work well. I'll show you what I mean. Like, it's supposed to go in this way, so I put it in there. We'll take out the brass one, which, by the way, Tripp, I absolutely love that shell for using the brass with. Okay, didn't fire the first time. It flopped out. I've been running into that issue. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong. I'll have to really sand these down, but my thing is, when I test these products, I test them as I received them. If I put the rival round most of the way down the shell, here goes an Adventure Force version. If I'll push it down in, that's about 3/4 of the way in the shell. Didn't quite fire. I just can't. That's both of them. I've been testing both of them. It really doesn't like the Adventure Force ones. It will fire the Headshot and Nerf rival rounds reasonably well if you push them like 3/4 of the way down. Again, that could be on my end. Maybe I'm supposed to sand that all out really, really well. But the other one here, Ultra Dart, it works okay. It works okay. That's how I would put it. I haven't done a whole lot of work with Ultra Darts yet. Somebody's going to have to let me know in the comment section below what material works best with them. so that maybe I can clean this out, insert a better medium for a barrel material, and then give it a shot. Because as is, it's a novel idea, but I wouldn't go crazy about it. This, though, I absolutely love. Took a little bit of work. I mean, I say I test things the way they come, but he does list that this is intended for you to put your own brass into, so I believe that is performing as advertised. And then, of course, with his gasket on, this thing has performed very well. And it does have dart preferences. It despises Busby Precise Pros, of course, 17/32 brass. It hates most AccuStrikes and AccuStrike copies. It prefers Elites, but this is absolutely not new information for those of you out there who have used brass. It fires extremely well with the men gun style, with E-kind waffle tips, and with anything that is an Elite copy. Terrible accuracy with the Elite copies, of course, but very, very good velocity. I'm actually averaging in the 140s with this SledgeFire as it sits right now, with the 8 inches of brass in Tripp's shell, 13 kilogram spring, and I mean, I really opened that up, but that is actually a really nice setup. I will absolutely be using this in local wars once we're allowed to have public gatherings once again, because hey, when I do my channel update, I'll give all the details on that. I am going to start local wars here hosted by me personally, and I am going to invite everybody to come. And with 150 feet per second cap, this SledgeFire hitting in the 140-ish range, depending on dart used, it's hitting between 135 to 147. So I'm within that range. The E-kind Elites and Nerf Elite copies are hitting up in the upper 140s. So I'm going to have to put a AccuRatio on here. That's my plan. This will work really well, or even a full-on Scar Bell. But that'll work really well with this and be a very fun, because outside of Busby and Action, which are my favorite brands, the SledgeFire is a absolute long-time favorite of mine. But for me, I hate to say it, but the rival rounds, I would have to say pass on those. I can't get good performance, and unfortunately, I think that the shell wall is too thin to do a whole lot with. Other than, I mean, I could carefully sand it out, but then eventually you're going to have a poor air seal. But as it is, it's a novel idea. It just doesn't really work too well. And I don't want to give Tripp too hard of a time on this, because I know he kind of threw these together in a rush for me. The print material on some of these, it didn't print real super smooth. But it seemed to be mostly on these. My two that I got for the actual brass inserting seemed to be better. So he must have had to print these up for me real fast. He even mentioned that. But not going to give him too hard of a time on that, but I would pass on the rival ones, unless you just want the kind of gag joke it might be. The Ultra Dart is interesting, and it does work. It's not my thing, but Ultra Darts aren't my thing anyways. But these, at $5 each, I'm actually going to go ahead and give these a full recommendation. So, Tripp Miller's SledgeFire shells for the brass inserts, instead of having to piece together something yourself, you can very easily put this together, and I have a little piece of hobby foam in the back of it. And yes, that is putting some serious zip to these darts. It is a nice tight fit. Gonna do a twist fit on this one. And that's a genuine Nerf Elite, but we'll twist that in. Get it. Nice zip out of it. And you cannot, of course, 8 inches of 17/32, you're not gonna fire AccuStrikes or most of their copies. Especially when I put a little crimp on the end of this before I inserted it. Nice hit there on the cardboard. But I actually will 100% recommend the shells for the brass to be inserted. That is a fantastic deal at $5 each compared to his competition from like Laser Gnomes or So Sick With It on Etsy as well. But I will actually put a link straight to these shells from his Etsy shop. But again, that's Tripp Miller doing his Etsy shop called RadioactivesDesigns, and I will have 2 more videos coming up with his things, but there we are. I actually ordered these myself and paid my own money for these, so he didn't sponsor this video, but he did send me a couple of special shells, or cylinders rather. Little teaser, only for the people who stay to the end. You get that. And we got this. And I'll let you tell me what you think this is. But that's a few coming up in another video, along with this thing. We get to try those out. But if you stayed to the end, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope this is informative. And again, link to his SledgeFire shell for 1732 brass will be in the description. You can check out other things in his store, but this is my recommendation. I did not get much luck out of the rival rounds, and the Ultra, yeah, it's Ultra. That's not on Tripp. I tried it because I wanted to, but yeah. But this is Mongoose Jake saying thanks for watching. Hope to see you next time.